Right now at 5:30, a store in downtown Richmond could be closed for weeks because of a fire that may have been set on purpose. We'll have more on the investigation into this ahead.
Also on WKYT this morning, one person is dead after she and 3 others were shot outside a birthday party in Louisville. We have the latest details on that coming up this morning.
And thousands of kids across central Kentucky head back to school today. What you need to know for this first day of the school year coming up.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. It is the first day of school for many, and we hope it's a good one and a great year ahead. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope your morning routine starts off with us for the rest of the school year. All you parents out there getting up and at it, ready to send those kiddos out the door.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on the news, of course, the traffic situation and so forth, and weather, and that's going to be very important throughout the school year. And this morning, we're already watching for the possibility of some showers the next few days.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And as we head off into the weekend's widespread, it looks like. As of right now, we're looking pretty good outside. So one thing you don't have to worry about this morning, about the kids and about school, is you don't have to worry about rain there as they're heading out to the bus stop. Now, toward the afternoon, that's a different story of them coming home. 75 degrees right now in Lexington. It does not feel good outside. It's very warm, very humid. We're going to have that again today. As we hit the afternoon, it's still that type of activity where you have some here and some of us are actually dry. That's just the way it's going to go the next few days. Like I said, though, the weekend looks pretty widespread, and I'll get into that forecast. I'll show you how much rain we're expecting, and I also have built a graphic that shows you where I expect the highest chance of flash flooding the next several days. That's coming up.
Okay, so it's been somewhat of a rainy end to the summer here, and summer vacation is now over for thousands of students in central Kentucky.
This morning they will be headed back to school, ready or not. Fayette, Madison, and Jessamine County schools among the districts starting a new school year off today. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is live for us with more on this first day of school. Good morning.
Good morning, Rebecca and Bill. Yeah, it's an exciting time. It is the first day of school, and you can feel that excitement here at the Fayette County School Bus Garage. You may be able to see some drivers arriving. We've been talking to them. They're super excited for this first day of school. And you know what? Some of these drivers will have 2 new stops this year, as there are 2 new elementary schools here in Fayette County. Now we have Coventry Oak and Garrett Morgan Elementary Schools. They're going to be opening their doors for school for the first time this morning. The schools had their ribbon cutting ceremonies last week, and keep in mind that these 2 new schools will add more traffic to certain parts of town here in Lexington. Coventry Oak is on Huntley Place off of Georgetown Road, and Garrett Morgan is on Passage Mound Way off of Polo Club Boulevard. Now AAA wants to remind people, of course, do not text and drive, and if you have to be on the phone, to please be hands-free. And remember, come to a complete stop at stop signs and stop for school buses loading and unloading these kids this morning. Remember, there are going to be 40,000 kids on the road this morning, either driving, riding their bikes, or walking. So just keep that in mind as you head out the door. There's going to be more traffic this morning, so maybe you want to leave a few minutes early. It's going to be a great first day of school, right? Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Absolutely. Go into it determined to make it a great year, you know?
Yeah.
Some things
you got to be positive, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll go well for a lot of folks out there this morning. And yeah, just keep that in mind as you're driving around, especially some of these neighborhoods with the kiddos as they're walking down the street to go back to school. Well, a store in downtown Richmond could be closed for weeks because of a fire. Investigators say that fire appears to be suspicious. It started late yesterday afternoon at the Family Dollar on East Main Street right downtown. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is at our live desk with more on this. Caitlin, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Arson investigators were called in after a crew spotted fire in the heart of downtown Richmond. Now, a woman WKYT talked to said she was looking at her phone when she noticed smoke coming from the Family Dollar. Firefighters say it was really a team effort knocking this fire down. While a crew made entry from the front of the building, another was behind it. They say they had to cut through a bolted door. Chief Wayne Long said the initial investigation showed the fire started in the paper section of the store that's closed for now.
I hope and pray it'll be back up and running soon, because I do get a lot of my personal belongings at Family Dollar.
Again, Chief Long said investigators would be looking at surveillance footage for clues into what led up to the fire. At the live desk, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
All right, a mystery for now. Thank you very much, Caitlin. One woman is dead and 2 others are injured after a shooting outside a birthday party in Louisville. That happened about 10 o'clock last night in the city's Parkland neighborhood. All 3 were taken to the hospital. The woman was pronounced dead. One of the victims is in critical condition this morning. Originally, police had said 4 people were shot, but they've since changed that again to 3. At last check, police had not made any arrests in the case.
Investigators tell us some starving dogs have been rescued from a Garrett County home. Someone saw the dogs in a man's car at a gas station and called police. Now the dogs are recovering at the Garrett County Animal Shelter. When the animal shelter director, Brittany Collins, first saw these animals, she says they were not in good shape.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say they were about a 2. They had been in the truck, the man had said, about all day, and they were skin and bones. And one is actually pregnant.
Well, they're still investigating, but Collins says the owner will likely be charged with animal cruelty. In the meantime, people at the animal shelter are just trying to help the dogs recover. To find out ways you can help, go to WKYT.com.
A Boyle County man says a thief took his trailer with $50,000 worth of antiques inside of it after the 127 yard sale. Daryl Sutherland says he had just wrapped up his work at the yard sale at the time of the theft. He says police found out the suspected thief later gave away some of the items in the trailer.
Well, because they got calls, hey, a guy just gave me a $300 churn. Had the price tag on it. These are priceless.
Police say they later arrested Jerry Stratton for the theft. While they recovered some of the stolen items, Sutherland says some of what was inside the trailer is still missing. And he's asking anyone who received a free item from Stratton to call the Junction City Police.
In national news this morning, the United States is currently in the lead in the 2016 Rio Olympics medal count. We have 26 medals right now. China in second place has 17. Japan's in third place with 14 medals. The U.S. currently has 9 gold medals. 1 is in gymnastics, the other in shooting. 7 are in swimming. For silver, we have 8 with medals in archery, diving, fencing, judo, and swimming. And in bronze, we have 9 medals. 1 is in the equestrian events, 1 in shooting, and the rest are in swimming. We'll have more in the Olympics and show you Michael Phelps earning 2 new medals coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. I thought it was amazing that they had ping pong or table tennis, not quite sure what that's classified as. I was enjoying that yesterday.
Okay. I tell you, Phelps is putting on a clinic down there, so it's going to be interesting. And a little bit we'll have more about what's going on at the Olympics. Exciting times.
Well, this may not come as a shocker. Donald Trump in hot water. Okay, so this time for making what some view as an assassination threat against opponent Hillary Clinton during a rally in North Carolina.
The unscripted comment comes as Trump continues to trail Clinton in the polls and is losing some support within his own party. Brian Webb has the latest on campaign 2016.
Donald Trump is trying to suppress the latest controversy that erupted moments after he said this about the right to bear arms.
If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know.
Hillary wants to take your guns away. She wants to leave you unprotected in your home. This is a tremendous political movement. There can be no other interpretation.
The NRA, which has endorsed Trump, agreed with the explanation. Many Democrats sided with the Clinton campaign, who called the remarks dangerous. Former Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, who was shot in the head during a mass shooting, tweeted, "We must draw a line between political speech and suggestions of violence." Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy tweeted, "Don't treat this as a political misstep. It's an assassination threat." House Speaker Paul Ryan, who easily won his state's primary Tuesday, also spoke out.
It sounds like just a joke gone bad. You should never joke about something like that.
Trump has been under fire from members of his own party to stick to message. Yesterday, he took aim at the media for allegedly ignoring the presence of Orlando shooter Omar Mateen's father at one of Clinton's rallies this week.
If that were me, this would be a headline all over the world.
The Clinton campaign has since disavowed Mateen's support and says he was not an invited guest. Brian Webb for CBS News.
Hillary Clinton will continue to tout her jobs plan in Iowa today before delivering a major economic speech in Detroit tomorrow. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul will be in Georgetown today. He'll be holding a roundtable discussion. This morning he will tour Georgetown Community Hospital before sitting down with doctors, business owners, and some community leaders. Paul is facing Lexington Mayor Jim Gray in Kentucky's race for the U.S. Senate in November. We also checked Gray's campaign schedule. So far, no appearances scheduled on the campaign trail. We do know he's riding the school buses in Lexington this morning. The next time you go to a zoo or an aquarium, you may want to keep your iPad away from the dolphins. We want to show you why.
Those dolphins are smart. Look at that. Trying to tell us something, right? This video was shot at SeaWorld in Orlando, showing a dolphin just snatching an iPad out of a woman's hands. He said, "Hey, pay attention to me. Get off your iPad," and tossing it into the water. It happened at a viewing tank where visitors can touch the dolphins. While the woman got her iPad back, we still do not know if it is working. Probably we'll never know that.
You made the point earlier, maybe that, dolphins are supposed to be smart. Maybe you had some work to do or wanted to play a game or what have you.
Or maybe just trying to say, get off the technology and live life and be in the moment.
Or more likely it was a bright object and you just snatched it out.
I don't know. I don't know.
5:41 the time on WKYT this morning as you rise and shine on this Wednesday, the first day of school in Fayette County and also in several other districts around the region. That will affect traffic wherever you live, so keep that in mind. Here are the current travel times into Lexington, and most of that is looking good at the moment. We'll take a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government live drive camera this morning. Richmond Road and Mount Tabor.
You know, Richmond Road and Mount Tabor is looking good there, as are probably a lot of other intersections around town, but you can expect here in about, the next hour or so, things are definitely going to pick up as far as traffic.
We checked in with Michelle a little bit ago. She's over there at the bus garage. It's exciting. A lot of the drivers arriving, getting those school buses ready to go. So they'll be joining that traffic here in just a little while. 5:42 now on WKYT on your Wednesday morning. Hope you'll stay here for so much more news.
A store full of candy that's all sugar-free. We'll have the story behind this shop when we come back.
And it's good news for the kids heading back to school this morning. It's bad news as they are coming back home. I'm going to show you how you can plan out your day and when to pick the kids up or bring them back home. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We're looking good early this morning as the kids are going to be heading out to the bus stop. I see no problems whatsoever for you guys. So that's one less thing for you to worry about early this morning as we sit here at 5:45. Early on the first day of school. Let's talk about your back-to-school forecast for your kids. Yeah, it looks like during the morning hours, mixture of sun and clouds, temperatures there in the low to mid 70s. It's going to be humid, no doubt about it, but that's really nothing to worry about. Once we hit the afternoon, that's when the scatter showers and thunderstorms start to pop up and move on in. More than likely, it'll be that 2, 3, 4 p.m. time frame that you start to see a lot of those start to pop up, which means the kids coming back from school, you going to pick them up, heads up, you might need an umbrella. Before you take off in the next several days, you will need an umbrella. Watch what happens, okay? We go now through Saturday. Late Saturday into Sunday is when the bulk of the rain moves on in. But now until then, it's just kind of bits and pieces here and there. And when I say bits and pieces, you could have 5, 10 miles away, pick up nothing, and then go back toward that 5 to 10 miles, and you're talking about 2 inches of rain. That's the way it was yesterday. It's the way it's going to be today, now through Friday into early Saturday. But watch what happens when we travel off into Sunday into Monday. That's when the bulk of the rain moves on in. Central, northwestern zones, look at that, 2 to 4 inches expected across those regions. Down toward the south and southeast, lesser likelihood of actually picking up on some flash flooding. You guys aren't going to be experiencing as much rain. Notice I didn't say any rain, as much rain. So central, north, and western zones, that is the greatest risk, the highest risk, therefore some flash flooding this week. And I've built a graphic for you right here, so check this out on the screen. Very heavy rain. And that's where you could see some ponding there on the roads. Those creeks and streams still are going to be the problem as we travel off through the next several days, especially, like I said, off into the weekend and into early next week there on your Monday, as we have a 60% chance of rain all 3 of those days. So now through Friday, it's a 40% chance, that hit and miss activity. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, guys, that's when it looks like that heaviest rain slides on in. And not so much just heavy rain, but it's widespread rain. Virtually all of us will start to get in on the mix there Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Some people yesterday didn't pick up any rain, 0. And then some people picked up 2 inches. That's just the way it's been. That's the setup.
Got to be honest.
Yes.
I was seeing videos out of your neighborhood, and you were talking about how much you got.
Yeah.
I didn't have a drop.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so
it's crazy how
hit or miss.
Crazy how
that's the way it is. All right, 5:48 our time this morning. Thank you, Micah. If you have some issues, you might want to pay attention to this story.
Yeah, maybe diabetes and a sweet tooth. You always wonder, what can you do?
Well, the sugar-free selection in many stores is limited or maybe even non-existent, but a husband and wife in Oklahoma have opened up a candy store where everything is sugar-free. The store is called Rustic Rehab. It's not just some wild idea. It was born out of medical necessity. Store owner Robert Kaningas has diabetes. So does his daughter, and his father died of it at the age of 49. Despite the disease, Robert says he has a sweet tooth, so he and his wife found dozens of sugar-free candies. He says they have everything from eucalyptus drops to lemon drops, peppermints. Robert says they've even found sugar-free Peeps.
Oh, lovely.
Went out on the market and found some selection
But who
there.
actually eats Peeps, right?
Oh, there's some people out there.
Maybe the kids.
Hold your hand
Maybe
up,
the
right?
kids,
Yeah.
right?
All right, good to have you along at 5:49.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
Also, we're checking traffic again on this first day of school in Fayette County and many other areas around the region. And we have our top stories on the way shortly. Keep it right here. Good morning. Time to rise and shine on this Wednesday, first day of school for many today. It is 5:52 right now.
Let's get a look at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
Summer vacation now over for thousands of students in central Kentucky. There's the superintendent, Manny Kalk. This morning, he's going to be riding the school buses as lots of kids are heading back to school. Fayette, Madison, Jessamine County schools among the districts starting a brand new year today. In Fayette County, 42,000 students have their first day back at their school desk.
Good luck to all you kiddos and parents. A store in downtown Richmond could be closed for weeks because of a fire. Investigators say the fire appears to be suspicious. It started late yesterday afternoon at the Family Dollar on East Main Street. The Richmond fire chief says the initial investigation shows the fire was started in the paper products section of the store.
One woman is dead and 2 others are injured after a shooting outside a birthday party in Louisville. It happened about 10 o'clock last night in the city's Parkland neighborhood. All 3 were taken to the hospital. The woman was pronounced dead. At last check, one of the victims is in critical condition this morning.
On to today's national stories making headlines. Donald Trump is in hot water yet again.
This time for suggesting Second Amendment advocates could stop Hillary Clinton from appointing Supreme Court judges who would abolish the right to bear arms. The Republican nominee maintains the remarks yesterday were simply a call for political mobilization. Clinton's campaign and some other Democrats are accusing Trump of inciting violence.
A new report from the Justice Department finds Baltimore police routinely discriminate against blacks, use excessive force, and are not adequately held accountable for misconduct. The report marks the end of a year-long investigation that began after the death of Freddie Gray. The 25-year-old died last year from injuries he suffered while being transported in a police van.
A neonatal intensive care unit at a Maryland hospital remains closed this morning after 3 babies tested positive for a potentially deadly bacteria. Officials at Prince George's Hospital Center transferred several infants to other hospitals yesterday. Authorities believe the bacteria originated in water pipes leading to the hospital. According to the CDC, 51,000 people in a healthcare setting get infected with the bacteria, which is called Pseudomonas aeruginosa, every year. Around 400 people with the bacteria die each year. Doctors say the 3 babies who tested positive are all clinically asymptomatic and may not be infected. But certainly they moved them rather than, take the chance.
Such a stressful time, I'm sure, for those parents who are already in a stressful situation.
Absolutely.
Well, Florida health officials say 4 more people likely got the Zika virus from a mosquito in a neighborhood just north of downtown Miami.
That brings the total number of locally transmitted cases in South Florida to 21. Health officials in Texas confirm an infant who recently died from microcephaly, or at least had that, is linked to the Zika virus. It is the first Zika-related death reported in Texas. The child was born to a mother who was infected with Zika in an area in Latin America while traveling there. There are no reported cases of mosquitoes transmitting the virus in Texas at this point.
Let's get a check right now. Today's traffic trouble spots. Things are pretty light out there right now. You can imagine in the next hour or so, traffic really going to pick up as a lot of the kids are headed back to school in Fayette, Madison, some other counties here in central Kentucky. Here's a look at the traffic map. Things looking pretty good. And here's a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam.
That's Richmond and Mount Tabor this morning, and those buses, you know, some of them will be departing very shortly. Some kids picked up in the 6 o'clock hour. So everybody be alert to that. Let's make it a real good school year. What do you say?
Yeah, get
right?
that coffee brewing, parents. You know, it is that time of year again, and some of you may be really happy right about
exactly.
now.
And for all the kids that are going for the first time, you know, give them a little hug for us,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
because I know it's going to be tough for the parents and the kids this morning. Let's check in with Micah. It's going to be a couple of years for you on that, right?
Yeah, I was about to say 2 more years away, and I will be there as well. 74 degrees there in Frankfort. Roadways look good, but like we were talking about, everybody headed back to school another hour or two, and those roadways will be filled up. 75 degrees there in Lexington. So things are looking pretty good this morning. It is dry as you're taking off early this morning to work and kids going to school. By the afternoon, though, looks like we'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Hope everything goes well with the first day of school. We'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes.